My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me.
What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mattel WWE Elite Collection Series 75 Collector's Edition Billie Kay. And so here we have Billie Kay posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through her accessories really fast. Billie Kay does come with two alternate pairs of hands. We do get a pair of grip hands. We get a pair of style pose hands. Then we do get a Soft Goods Iconic shirt, which looks really good. And then we also do get a microphone. Other than that, Billie Kay doesn't come with anything else, so let's actually move on to her details. And so here we have a closer look at Billie Kay now. I really do like this head sculpt. I liked it when I first saw it on the Iconics Battle Pack, but there's something throwing it off about the way it was applied on her face. It could be that this eye is looking off to the right while this one is looking straight. It could be that her mouth is off-centered a little bit, but overall, I'm not really a fan of this face, so more than likely this head sculpt is going to get swapped out for the basic head, which I think is a much better look. I don't know what it is. The colors on this figure look much better than this. Even if this face was perfectly aligned, I'd probably lean more toward the basic figure. But I still like the head sculpt. I just wish the paint was a little bit better. I do really like the way this figure came out, and it does resemble Billie Kay, so I do give it props for that. The hair is the exact same that we saw in the Battle Pack. Now, this is an example of Mattel doing so many things right and then tripping at the 1 yard line. This figure is done beautifully. I love the way she came out, with the exception of the face paint, if we can ignore that, because it is something that can be fixed. Having a look at her torso, Mattel actually went the extra mile to sculpt a unique torso for Billie Kay, and that's something I said that they should have done with the basic figure, is sculpt a torso for Billie Kay, and they actually did that, which I do like seeing unique torsos, especially on female figures. I think their ring gear is so unique that just painting it on an existing mold doesn't do it any favors. And I really do like that it's sculpted and painted. Yeah, it is missing paint in some parts. Some parts you can see they didn't quite apply it properly, but I'll give credit where credit is due. They actually applied a new sculpt to this figure, so good job on Mattel. We do have the interchangeable hands, which is another good sign that Mattel is listening to us. Then not only the upper torso is unique, we get a unique abdomen piece. This piece hasn't been seen on any other figures but Billie Kay, and again, they sculpted it when I said the exact same thing about the Battle Pack, that it should have been sculpted. So Mattel did a phenomenal job sculpting this abdomen piece, and you can see it is painted better than the upper torso. So I really do like that Mattel did that. Now, where this figure suffers the most is in the lower torso. Everything from the pelvis down is complete reuse, which is a shame because there is so much opportunity for unique pieces. I really think Mattel should have given her unique thighs. That's something that they should have done, and then giving us double jointed knees. There's so much opportunity to have unique sculpted parts for Billie Kay here, and unfortunately Mattel fumbled it at the 1 yard line, and we get these old single jointed knees, which there's nothing wrong with them at face value, but more articulation never hurt a figure. Depends on who you talk to, that's questionable, but yeah, I would have liked to see double jointed knees and unique sculpted parts. Mattel actually invested time and effort into this entire sculpt, so why couldn't they just invest a little bit more? It boggles the mind why they do some of the things they do. There are signs of greatness here, and then signs of mediocrity. I will not celebrate mediocrity, but I will give credit to advancements. Then we have a look at her feet, which she suffers the same Mandy Rose syndrome, where they painted the Iconics logo, but we get Iconis. There's no C. Even here it's Iconis. If you remember my Peyton Royce video, they actually did paint Iconics on her boot. So they dropped the ball on that yet again. And it is Mattel. It's not the figure, unfortunately. Mattel just didn't put the C on the joint, which I don't know why they didn't do that. But overall, I do like the way this figure came out. As I said, there are signs of greatness in this figure, but the head sculpt is a little bit off with the paint application, which, like I said, it can be fixed. And then we have the unsculpted thighs, which, again, I would have loved to see this figure done right. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually compare it to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Billie Kay posed next to an Ultimate Editions Brock Lesnar and a basic Jeff Hardy. Here we have Billie Kay posed next to an Ultimate Editions Becky Lynch and a basic Mandy Rose. And so here we have the Elite Billie Kay posed next to the Battle Packs Billie Kay and the Elite Peyton Royce. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually run through her articulation really fast. Billie Kay does sport the articulation that we've come to expect, minus the double jointed knee, so let's actually run through that. Her head is on a ball joint and she can look up slightly. Can't really look down, but we do get some pretty decent left and right movement because of how her hair comes down. It doesn't hinder too much articulation and it is softer, so we do get that. Very little head pivot, but it is there. Arms are on ball hinges that go out to the side, no problem. Does a full 360. Bicep swivel works fine. Single bend at the elbow, really good there. Single hinge here at the wrist as well as rotation. We do have a really nice abdomen joint right here, which does go all the way around. Goes back a pretty decent amount. Doesn't go too far forward, and I would really like to see more articulation there. We have a swivel at the waist. Legs do kick forward. Close to 90, but just missing the mark slightly. They go out to the side, poorly. Swivel at the thigh, really stiff joint on mine. Single bend at the knee, not even giving us 90 degrees, unfortunately. Swivel at the boot. Then we have a single hinge. So overall, Billie Kay here is a pretty good figure. I really do like what they did with it. I just wish they had taken some extra steps, and this figure would have been perfect in my opinion. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get her posed for my final thoughts. Just before we move on to my final thoughts, I would like to note that the photos and final thoughts will have an altered figure. This is actually the Elite Billie Kay with the Battle Pack head, and you can see it looks much nicer. I think the paint apps are crisper on this than the head that originally came with. So if you are wondering why the head looks different, I already had swapped them for my final thoughts and the pictures and thumbnail. And finally, here we have the Elite Billie Kay pose for my final thoughts. And overall, I think Mattel has done an amazing job with this figure. It's fantastic that they were able to give us a unique torso for Billie Kay here. I really do wish they went the extra mile and gave us a completely new sculpt for her thighs. If they did, this figure would be much better in my opinion. It's still a really nice figure, and I do enjoy having her in my collection. And she is a must-have if you do have the Elite Peyton Royce. That way you can have the Iconics duo. Now, if you are looking for Billie Kay, Elite 75 isn't in stores anymore, and collector figures are probably the harder ones to come by. Billie Kay here, I didn't find her at retail, unfortunately, and I do believe she was a Target exclusive that somehow also ended up at Walmart. I just don't understand how Elite 73 and 75 did their exclusives, because we had Peyton Royce and Billie Kay showing up at both Walmarts and Targets. Now, Billie Kay here isn't too hard to come by, and getting her secondhand will run you about $30, $35, which is pretty fair for a collector's edition figure, seeing as how most of them do run $40 to $60, depending on which one you are trying to get. I think Billie Kay here is a must-have figure if you're trying to fill out your ranks, and if you have the Elite Peyton Royce, you're going to want to have Billie Kay right next to her. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other WWE videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me reviewed, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.